My name is Abhilash, and I'm an Indian citizen. And I was in the Navy for about 25 years. I left in 2021. I used to be a reconnaissance pilot, similar to Taverley, who was a pilot in the Navy. While I was in the Navy, I did a non-stop circumnavigation, single-handed, in 2012-13. And soon after that, I decided to take part in the Golden Globe Race 2018. And that's how I ended up making a replica of Suhaili, and I came for GGR 18, and then there's a big story after that. Nobody was into sailing, but I came to know about sailing from books and all these things. And that's how I decided to join the Navy, because if you want to sail, Navy is a very good place to sail. I used to sail as a cadet and then became an officer, and I used to continue sailing. So I started on a boat called the Enterprise, which is a two-person dinghy. And then I sailed lasers for a long time. And there was one point when I finished fourth in the nationals in India. And then I got an opportunity to be a part of the Volvo Ocean Race. I was the yacht services manager when they stopped in India for the first time. So that was a big experience. Then I got to sail with a scientist on his boat from Oman to Yemen. And after that, the Navy put me as shore support for a naval officer who was going around the world with 4 stops. So thanks to my time in the Navy, I got a lot of exposure to different kinds of sailing. And my first non-stop circumnavigation was completely sponsored by the Navy. I was, I think, 6 years old, and we had an officers' party at the sailing club, naval sailing club, and there was this gentleman who took everybody out on a small speedboat, and I think he was very drunk, and he was maneuvering the boat very crazy at night, and I was very scared. I didn't have much time to prepare. I picked up the boat in March from L'Orient and then took it to Netherlands, and we refitted it within 1.5 months, about I think 7 weeks or something. And then I had to go back to India to renew my visa, because I had a visa with which I could start but I couldn't finish. And then I got a visa that was longer, and by the time I came back I had to do my qualification passage, and I finished that, and I was in Spain. Doing all GGR stuff. And then we had to do a little race from Spain to Les Sables d'Olonne. And in that race, one of my crew, who was at that time on watch, he did not look out for a long time. And we had a collision with a ship. And my crew saw the ship after the collision. That was a big setback, and we had damage to the bow and to parts of the mast. And even inside, we had a little bit of damage. I somehow got the boat here, and then it was a tough time getting the boat ready for GGR again. I was not anxious. I had a very good team, and I knew that they will somehow come with a solution. All I had to do was find the money, and when they started working, I had to make sure they had breakfast and lunch and a lot of cola. So I had to keep giving them cola so they'd keep drinking and they keep working. I was excited, I was relieved, but at the same time I was very tired. I was very tired from working 12 hours to repair the boat, and after that, once all the people have gone, you have GGR work to do, and after that you've got to prepare for the race. I ended up sleeping maybe 4 hours a day for that entire 3 weeks. And as soon as everybody, moved away from the boats, I felt headache and nausea, and I just wanted to go down and sleep. Then I just, luckily we were sailing upwind in about 15, 20, and sometimes 25 knots and all, so it's easy to sail upwind on these boats. I put the boat upwind and just went to sleep. For, I think, 1 week, I was only tacking and reefing and sleeping, not eating much and, not doing anything else. Initially, I was trying to push the boat and make it go very fast. But towards the end of the Pacific, I had a lot of unfortunate incidents, and one by one things started breaking. For example, my self-steering had a lot of issues. So there I decided that it's fine to finish second or third or whatever, but finish is important, and I started sailing it much more conservatively. I got a visitor. My wind pilot, the blade that goes in water, I had 3 of them and all 3 broke, and I didn't have any left. After trying various pieces of wood, I took out the anchor shaft and I screwed it onto the wind pilot, and that worked for almost 10,000 miles. So the boat came back, like that. Once, I think just close to Falklands, my Yankee halyard parted, and the sail came down and the halyard went up. And to bring it down, I tied some fishing hooks, and I sent it up another halyard, and I snagged it and pulled it down. When something happens, the first thing I do is I just, lie down and go to sleep for 1 or 2 hours. And then in my head, I keep making a plan. And when I'm making that plan, I imagine every minor detail. When this halyard went off, I just lied down and I was figuring out how to get it. I thought of Velcro, tapes, I thought of a lot of things. And then suddenly, this fishing hook came to my mind. And I imagined that they went and they snagged and everything was perfect. Came back, executed it. It was like, it just happened in 10 minutes, the halyard was down. I think about my kids, my wife, and I think that I'll take them on a holiday when I come back and all those things. But I have no problem being alone. I'm completely okay. In fact, I'm happier if I'm alone in a boat. I became an uncle. So my niece was here. The moment I arrived, I picked my niece, and she was like just so light. Yeah, a lot of little things happened. My father had surgery, and there were older members of the family who died. My brother had COVID, and a lot of these things happened when I was away. I crossed the finish line and I opened my phone, and with GGR's permission, I called my mother and then I called my wife. I told my mother that I'm back, and she said very good, and that's what I told my wife, and she was also very happy. I think GGR cannot be defined. It does not fall into any standard box of definition. 2018, I thought it was a race. 2022, I thought it was survival. It could be anything.